Okay, there are several notes for this lesson. Parallel lines have the same slope. Perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes. I'll talk about that in a moment. If the slope has y by itself in front of the equal sign, then, if the equation has y by itself in front of the equal sign, the slope is in front of x. If the equation has x and y in front of the equal sign, then the slope is the opposite of a over b. So let me go over all that. First of all, in line 1, we do not have x and y on the same side, but we don't have y by itself either. But we can make y be by itself by dividing every term by 3, like this. Because top cancels with bottom for fractions, so y equals negative 2/3 x plus 4/3. Okay, so the slope is in front of x in that case, so the slope is negative 2/3. And line 2, y is already by itself, so the slope is in front of x, negative 2/3. And line 3, x and y are on the same side. So when that happens, you have a, b, and c. So the slope is the opposite of a. So the opposite of positive 6 is negative 6 over b, which is negative 4. These cancel, the negatives cancel. These are even numbers, so cut them in half. Half of 6 is 3. Half of 4 is 2. So 3 halves. So for each pair of lines, determine whether they are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Okay, so lines 1 and 2 have the same slope. So they are parallel. Line 3, lines 2 and 3, because it says pair of lines, so we're going to 2 lines at a time. So line 2 is negative 2/3, line 3 is 3 halves. Okay, now those signs, this one's negative, line 2 is negative, line 3 is positive, those are opposite. And if you take 2/3 and flip it, it's 3 over 2. That's what I meant by opposite reciprocal. So lines 2 and 3 are perpendicular. And then we've got to do lines 1 and 3. So you do the first 2, the last 2, and the first and last to make sure you've got them all. Well, line 1 is negative 2/3, line 3 is 3 halves. Those are opposite signs, and the fraction is flipped, so those are perpendicular. Okay, so that's the answer for each pair of lines. Line 1, y is by itself, so whatever's in front of x is your slope, 5/3. Line 2, the y is not by itself, so you've got to divide by what's in front of the y to get it by itself. So I've got y equals 5/3 x plus 7/3. So line 1 is 5/3. Line 2 is in front of x, 5/3. Line 3, we've got the opposite of a, so the opposite of positive 10 is negative 10, over b, which is negative 6. The negatives cancel. Half of 10 is 5. Half of 6 is 3. So that's 5/3. All the slopes are the same. So we can say all lines are parallel.